The battlefield stretched endlessly beneath the blood-red sky. Jagged ruins jutted from the earth, like the bones of a forgotten civilization, their shattered remains whispering of a war long lost. Amidst the desolation stood Captain Dane, his armor torn, his sword slick with blackened ichor. He was alone. Before him, an army of shadows gathered, an ocean of writhing figures with no faces, only gaping voids where eyes should be. They did not breathe. They did not speak. They only hungered. The last of his brothers in arms had fallen hours ago, their screams swallowed by the abyss. Now, there was no one left to hear him pray. If he was to die, it would be with a sword in his hand and the taste of iron on his tongue.
The first wave.
The silence shattered as the shadows charged. They moved like ink in water fluid, chaotic, unstoppable. Dane met them with steel and fury. His blade carved through the darkness, severing limbs that reformed before they hit the ground. He kicked, parried, and slashed, but for every shadow he cut down, 10 more took its place. Clawed hands raked across his chest, tearing through armor, leaving wounds that bled smoke instead of blood. A spear of darkness shot toward him. He dodged too late. Pain exploded in his side as the shadow's weapon pierced him clean through. But pain was nothing. Pain was a reminder that he still lived. Roaring, Dane ripped the spear from his flesh and thrust his blade forward, skewering the nearest shadow. Black mist erupted from its wound, and for a fleeting moment it screamed a sound that was neither human nor beast. Then the tide consumed him.
The fall into darkness.
Dane fought until his arms grew numb, until his lungs burned with the effort of living. The shadows crawled over him, dragging him down into the cold abyss. His sword slipped from his grasp, lost beneath a sea of writhing bodies. They smothered him. He couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The weight of them pressed against his ribs, his bones bending under the crushing force. A shadow's fingers dug into his face, seeking his eyes, his mouth, his soul. Was this how it ended? No. Something deep inside him ignited a fire hotter than the blood dripping from his wounds.
The wrath of the last soldier.
With a feral growl, Dane forced himself upward, his veins alight with rage. He wrenched free, grabbing the dagger at his belt. The blade, once unremarkable steel, now blazed with golden fire, a light that defied the darkness. With one mighty swing, he tore through the shadows, the fire searing them into nothingness. Their shrieks shattered the night. The army recoiled, but Dane did not stop. He became death itself, a storm of steel and fire, carving his name into the void. The shadows collapsed around him, unable to withstand the relentless fury of the last soldier. One by one, they fell, and one by one, they died.
The aftermath.
When the final shadow crumbled to dust, Dane collapsed to his knees. The battlefield was silent once more. His breath came in ragged gasps, his body broken, his vision blurred. He had won, but victory had come at a cost. His wounds ran deep, his strength was spent. He knew he would never leave this place. As the first light of dawn pierced the horizon, he allowed himself a small, bitter smile. Let them write stories of his stand. Let them remember his name. Dane, the last soldier, had faced the darkness alone, and he had prevailed.